Tonight on SUTV News, President Trump visits the aftermath of Kenosha after days of unrest. And we will tell you more about the new random testing protocols that Shippensburg University has put in place. All that and more right here on SUTV News. SHIP students received an email Monday evening stating that in order to detect asymptomatic cases of COVID-19, Shippensburg University will begin random student testing. The goal of this effort is to isolate cases of students that display no symptoms before they infect others. The random pool of students will be pulled from a database that has names of students that have hybrid and in-person class. Each Friday, there will be an email sent out to students stating that they have been invited to get tested. Testing will be a nasal swab and conducted at Eder Health Center. There is a plan to receive all tests back within 48 to 72 hours after testing. Since August 20th, 45 students have been tested for COVID-19 and 3 have come back positive, 2 on campus and 1 off campus. Those 3 students are currently fulfilling their 10 days of isolation. SUPD sent a message to the SHIP community this morning stating there was a sexual assault in the SHIP area. The message was precautionary and said that was, quote, a possible threat to the community, end quote. SU Police Chief Michael Lee stated some ways to keep safe are to not admit strangers into your residence halls, to only accept rides from people you trust, and to report any suspicious activity to the Shippensburg University Police Department. SUPD can be reached at 717-477-1444. On Monday, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf announced that he is extending the disaster declaration for the state due to COVID-19. This is the second extension to his disaster declaration, which he issued on March 6th. Wolf said in a statement that he is, quote, amazed at the resiliency and strength shown by Pennsylvanians during the pandemic, end quote. He also says that the renewal of the declaration allows the state to provide resources needed to continue battling COVID-19. The disaster declaration is now set to expire in December unless Governor Wolf issues another extension. President Trump visited Kenosha, Wisconsin amid racial tensions this past Tuesday. SUTV's Adam Beam has more.
Just over a week ago, the ever-escalating tensions between the public and police took another devastating hit when a video was released showing 29-year-old Jacob Blake being shot multiple times by Kenosha police officers as his 3 sons watched on from the back seat of his vehicle. But even now, as Blake lies paralyzed from the waist down in the hospital, hundreds have been marching alongside his family, making sure Jacob and many other victims' voices are heard. And this past Tuesday, President Trump decided to fly to Kenosha himself to survey the damages caused by the protest, despite outcry from several city officials urging strongly against this decision. While touring law enforcement operations in Kenosha, Trump took the time to take credit for being the one to call in the National Guard, who he said put out the flame immediately. The president's visit was also met with controversy and skepticism, many claiming that he was using the trip to capitalize on the rising racial tensions. Controversy also followed with Trump's defense of Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old who shot and killed 2 protesters in what Trump claimed as self-defense. However, despite Trump's visit, the Blake family wanted to make sure to continue their protest, but as civil rights activist Jesse Jackson put it, did not want to create a commercial for Trump's vision. Instead, an event was held that involved music, cleaning up the community, and even offering people a chance to register to vote. Now, despite city officials advising against the visit, President Trump used this time to also visit many small businesses affected by the protest, with him promising that his administration would offer $4 million to those businesses, as well as $1 million towards law enforcement. Although the uncle of Jacob Blake did have this to say.
Let me tell you where funding needs to go. Funding needs to go in the African-American community so we can have, our children can have a chance to be successful. Funding should go into education in communities like this. Funding should go into giving businesses an entrepreneur an opportunity to rebuild and be functional and be supportive in their own community. It happens all over the United States. Monies are given out to all type of organizations and peoples other than African Americans. So we're here in 2020 to let you know the matrix are falling. We're not believing anything other than the truth. And the truth is, we helped build this country.
And as of today, Democratic nominee Joe Biden is on his way to visit Kenosha himself, and it is clear that this will be a crucial point of discussion for upcoming debates, and clearly will have a massive effect on the outcome of this year's election. For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
We are one step closer to the presidential debates between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. The Committee on Presidential Debates announced on Wednesday the moderators for all three presidential debates and the vice presidential debate. Fox News Sunday's Chris Wallace will moderate the first debate, being held in Cleveland, Ohio. The vice presidential debate between Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris will be moderated by Susan Page from USA Today, being held from Salt Lake City, Utah. The second presidential debate will be moderated by Steve Scully from C-SPAN from Miami, Florida. Like 2016, this debate will be a town hall debate where undecided voters will be able to ask questions to the candidates. The third and final presidential debate will be moderated by Kristen Welker from NBC News, being held in Nashville, Tennessee. The first debate is being held on Tuesday, September 29th, beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. With a lot of hospitals around the country continuing to struggle with the workload of patients due to COVID-19, General Motors and Ford have been making ventilators for the government to help hospitals around the country. SUTV's Nolan Hoffman has the latest.
General Motors and Ford have completed the United States government contracts to make 80,000 medical breathing machines for the United States government to, of course, help COVID-19 patients. Ford made 50,000 breathing machines, while GM made 30,000 breathing machines designed by Venic Life Systems, the AP reported. GM made the ventilators at a converted auto electronics plant in Komodo, Indiana at a cost of $489.4 million. Ford's contract was worth $336 million, and it made the ventilators at a factory near Detroit that was converted to make the medical equipment. The Ford plant will return to producing auto parts, while General Motors will turn its control of its Komodo plant to Venic, which will continue to make ventilators there and in Bothell, Washington, the Associated Press reported. This is Nolan Hoffman reporting with SUTV News.
The beginning of September marks the start of Suicide Prevention Month. SUTV's Brianna Webb tells us more about this month and why it is so crucial to get help if you need it.
September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and it is meant to help the public understand the warning signs of suicide. More than 48,000 people died of suicide in 2018, making it the 10th leading cause of death in the country. Even though someone may seem fine on the outside, like many mental health conditions, suicidal thoughts can affect anyone. More than half of people who struggle with this do not have a diagnosed mental health condition. To make it easier to get help, the Federal Communications Commission recently designated the number 988 as a quicker way to dial the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number will be active starting in July 2022, so until then, you will have to dial the full number. Meanwhile, there are some common signs to show someone may be struggling and in need of help. Increased anxiety, sleeping too little or too much, feeling like a burden to others, and increased substance abuse issues are all signs someone is in need of help. If anyone you know is struggling with these or other signs, reach out to them to make sure they're okay. And if there is a problem, urge them to seek help. You can contact the University Counseling Center to schedule an appointment either by phone at 717-477-1481 or online at ship.edu. For SUTV News, I'm Brianna Webb.
And finally tonight, a dog that seemed to want to challenge Michael Phelps. Volunteers in the United Kingdom were called out to sea to rescue a dog that went for a swim. The owner called for help, saying that his dog went into the water chasing seagulls in the surf and just kept going. A lifeboat full of rescuers from the Royal National Lifeboat Institution quickly found and brought the paddling pooch aboard their vessel. The water-covered spaniel got plenty of affection from the crew and then later was returned to his owner once ashore. And with that being said, I will be signing off. Thank you for joining us on tonight's episode of SUTV News. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Twitter at SUTV News and check out our website at sutvnews.org. Have a good Labor Day, everyone.